All right, here you go. For any of you that think this is just a really bad story. For any of you that think that games are fixed, this story is for you. If you think legalization of sports betting will produce more corruption, and I know a lot of you do think this story is very much for you. Legalized sports betting is amazingly clean and amazingly upfront, amazingly transparent, and amazingly regulated. It really is. Here's proof. You know what? This guy is a fool, an absolute fool who may be an addict. I don't know what the angle is, and I think we're going to find out eventually. But if you would like to get flagged, okay, because that's what happens. These legalized sports betting sites don't mess around. They are shockingly secure. But if you'd like to get flagged for a suspicious gambling activity in any capacity, then make several bets on a college baseball game, because no one does it. So sure enough, someone's going to get flagged if you start betting on regular season college baseball. I know that because in the story, FanDuel said they've had 0 bets on college baseball in the regular season. No one's betting on college baseball in the regular season. So when you do go and make bets on college baseball in the regular season, and they're really curious bets and you make a lot of them, someone's going to be suspicious. Yep. Yeah, especially when you're the coach. Okay? If you like to get flagged as suspicious, then go and bet on a college game. And if you want to add to it and get really flagged, be the coach of the losing team who makes bets. Be the coach of the losing team who makes bets on college baseball games in the regular season, and be the coach who scratches his starting pitcher on the day you made the bets. That'll probably get you flagged. And it did, and he got fired. And maybe more. Either way, one thing you got to take away from this, besides the guy is a moron and has got a problem, big problem, one thing you will take away from this is, my gosh, this stuff is really secure. I mean, this is an argument for legalization. Absolutely. Absolutely. I know we live in a nanny state and people at the Capitol moral and all that stuff, and they know what's best. But man, if you want to go ahead and legalize and prove that legalization is going to take the fix out of sports, this story is absolutely it. This is guy who covers gambling for ESPN.com. This is a story about a college baseball coach at Alabama who's now been fired, who is, he just found every way possible to give you red flags.
Alabama's director of athletics, Greg Byrne, announced he has initiated the termination process for head baseball coach Brad Bohannon for, among other things, violating the standards, duties, and responsibilities expected of university employees. Bohannon has been relieved of all duties, and Jason Jackson will serve as the interim head coach. There will be no further comment at this time, pending an ongoing review. Now, this firing comes after alleged suspicious betting activity that took place last Friday prior to Alabama's game against LSU. LSU went into that game as the heavy betting favorite and eventually won 8-6. But it was prior to the game that Ohio regulators first became aware of suspicious bets. 3 states have now halted all betting on Alabama baseball, pending the outcome of an investigation. For more now, I want to bring in our betting expert, reporter David Purdom, who was the first to break this story. David, let's start at the beginning if we could. Why Ohio? Why did the alarm bells first go off in Ohio?
Yeah, the alleged suspicious activity occurred at the Great American Ballpark, where there's a BetMGM sports book. That occurred on Friday before the LSU-Alabama game. The sports book alerted an integrity monitor known as U.S. Integrity that kind of monitors the betting market. The U.S. Integrity alerted the Ohio Casino Commission, and they launched an investigation. They thought they had enough specific information on the alleged activity to halt all betting on Alabama. And then 5 days later, as you said, Alabama goes ahead and terminates Coach Bohannon.
David, the SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey weighed in with a statement earlier today as well. And if I could read a bit of that, he says, "We are aware of reports related to the suspension of wagering Alabama baseball games. We will continue to monitor available information and any regulatory activity." You've also been in touch with the NCAA on this. What are you hearing?
Yeah, the NCAA is aware of the issue, and they were very adamant about how seriously they take sports betting and the dangers that it poses to its student athletes. So they're following up with everything, and they're on top of everything. I understand that they're part of the lead of the investigation.
Okay, let me stop there.
David,
I mean, this is fascinating. First of all, your takeaway should be, wow, organized, legalized sports betting is more thorough and transparent than our financial system. I mean, this is impressive. But obviously the dude set up, I mean, red flags all over the place. One, as I've said, and they didn't mention this, but in David Purdum's reporting for ESPN, this guy's really got an interesting job. But nobody bets on regular season college baseball. So first of all, when a few bets start coming in, hey, Jeff, it's Alabama, LSU, and they're gambling in Ohio? Yeah, that's kind of a red flag. But these bets come in on this game. Nobody makes these bets. I'm not even sure if you walked up to a window and said, I would have bet on that college baseball game on Thursday in San Marcos. Wait, what? So the bets start coming in. What they didn't mention in this is, shockingly, the starting pitcher for Alabama is scratched before the game. Yeah, I mean, you got, if you want to be on the inside and you want to bet on yourself or against yourself, you want to make money, you practice insider trading. Notice how we don't do this with our politicians. We do it with baseball coaches. We do it with college coaches. We don't do it with politicians. But if you want to practice some insider trading here, I don't know, you might want to hide a little bit better than this. It really is remarkable. Now, what I don't like is if they're going to run him off without any explanation. I think the NCAA and probably the SEC itself, I think they're going to just say, he was fired, that's it, we didn't want to talk about it anymore. I think that's a mistake. I think they're going to make a big deal out of it. As I've said before, we'll just use the example. Nick Saban wouldn't need to do this. I don't know. First of all, we don't know how much the bets were for. But big money prevents stuff like this. Now, I'm not saying that the baseball coach at Alabama, who's very successful, by the way, I'm not saying he's a poor guy. And this is a really stupid thing to do. The guy's probably got to be making close to $1 million, maybe $500,000. I don't know what he could have made out of these insider bets. And in essence, I think the argument's going to be he threw a game. Or he didn't throw the game. He knew they were going to lose. He knew they were going to lose because he scratched his starting pitcher. For gambling reasons or not, either way, he knew what was about to happen. They lost to LSU. So, I mean, I just think the story getting out is really good on every level. It should prove to you, one, the games aren't going to be fixed. Number two, that this is incredibly transparent. Three, you can trust gambling. You can trust legalized gambling. So, I mean, here's the setup in this game. To think how stupid this was. To not realize you might get flagged. Maybe you're going to say, well, Jeff, I mean, he just assumed nobody cared about college baseball, so he wouldn't get flagged. Well, that's the point of getting flagged. No other bets come in, man. And they're coming in to this place in Ohio. Alabama baseball coach Brad Bohannon was fired. They played LSU 6 days ago. Sportsbook surveillance video indicated that the person who placed the bet was communicating with Bohannon at the time. So, at best case this is some friend of his. He's going, yeah, place the bet because, Joe here's our starting pitcher. He's out tonight. Place the bet. It could be that. So they found that he was communicating with whoever placed the bets. The school announced that they've initiated the termination process. That means you get fired. The suspicious activity took place at the sports book at the Great American blah, 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 whatever that place is. 2 bets were placed on LSU to win from the unidentified customer. Alabama's scheduled starting pitcher, Ace. So their ace is out. that night, the day of the game, he's making the calls. Luke Holman was scratched before the LSU game because of back tightness and was replaced by sophomore Hagan Banks, who had not started a game since early March. Yeah, we're probably going to lose. Well, do I know we're going to lose tonight? No, we're going to try to win, but yeah, we're probably going to lose. So if that helps you, go ahead and make the bet. Should that get you fired? Yeah. Do we know that he was in on placing the bets? Do we know that he threw the game? I don't know that the evidence says that because they lost 8-6. They tried a little bit. It's not like they lost 22-0. So there's been zero. FanDuel says there's been zero bets placed on regular season college baseball games. So you either think you're going to get away with it because no one ever bets, or you are a dumbass. You're a dumbass for making the bets. Can you imagine that the book, they're going, wow, look at this. We got 5 bets on a baseball game tonight. College baseball. What? Who does that? Well, that guy right over there, I'm staring at him. He just came in and bet a bunch of money on the game. Uh-oh, I better call the boss. Now, look, you can hate gambling all you want. Legalized gambling is shockingly above board. It is. Not legalized gambling is very much not above board. Here is perfect evidence to trust it. You're not throwing a game. You're not. I'm not even sure you want to argue is this technically throwing a game? I don't know. It depends on what he says. I mean, it really could go deeper than this. I mean, did he go in there and say, hey, how's your back feeling? You know, I feel pretty good, coach. I think I can go tonight. No, you're not. Well, no, I feel pretty good. No, you're not. Your back is really bad, and you're not starting. Well, okay, but I feel okay. Hey, you kid, you're starting tonight. Huh? I never start. Well, you are tonight. This is weird. I think it's a really important story, though. I think it's an important story for skeptics who think games are fixed. I think it's a really important story for college sports and gambling. I think to get it out there. Because I think this is really a good day. In a weird way, it's a really good day for betting. It's saying, trust us. We got this. Don't you wish our financial markets were this thorough? Don't you wish our political market was this thorough? Don't you wish the other industries that are not legalized sports gaming were this ethical, above board, transparent, secure? It's a pretty admirable moment for betting, I think. So betting on college baseball was halted involving Alabama. Yeah. There's only one bet for one guy. Indiana gaming regulators also were alerted to suspicious bets on the Alabama-LSU game that were placed with Sportsbook in Indiana. They halted all betting on Alabama baseball and instructed sportsbooks to refund any future wagers on the Crimson Tide. Just to be clear, that would be all of 0 other bets ever placed, except this guy and some friend. I think it's cool. Now you can start to ask yourself, is a game thrown in which you lose 8-6? Isn't that weird? I mean, was he nervous? Oh, crap, we're scoring some runs. I need you to take. Okay, coach, there's 2 strikes. I said take. The bases are loaded, coach. Just take. I'll put a pinch hitter in to take all 3 strikes. We're going to bunt. But, coach, they lost 8-6. Would you, I know the answer to this. Let's just say, because we don't know enough about this, I think it's a mistake. If somebody just called him and said, hey, how you guys going to do tonight? Well, I don't know. We're playing, LSU's good. They're probably better than us. And, man, my starter, he's out. He's got a bad back. Where are you right now? I'm in a sports book. What'd you say? Oh, I said my starter's out tonight. He's got a bad back. All right, see you, man. Say you just happen to talk to somebody who's betting. Is that enough to get fired? Is that a fix? Or the fact that you're the coach and you're on the phone with somebody who's making bets, is that a deal breaker by itself, no matter what you do or say? Because he's been successful. He has. They've got a good baseball program. He's been there a while. I mean, if this was just completely innocent and the guy's bad timing and bad luck, man, if I were his lawyer and I were him, I would be screaming from the highest mountain saying, oh, come on, everybody. I was talking to my brother-in-law who happened to be there. That's all. I didn't know this was going to go down. I would make my case public if I were him and I wasn't involved in some sort of insider knowledge.